What I'm saying is you want to take the conscious information and plant it past the analytical mind in the subconscious, and that's where real change takes place. Why it's important to set intentions. And I'm going to share a personal story. So about 4 years ago, I had a severe case of vertigo. And I should back up the story even further, because vertigo, if you don't know what it is, it's basically a condition that you can get where you feel imbalanced. And you feel so imbalanced to the point where you can't eat or drink food, because as soon as the food goes in your stomach, you feel upset. And so you're constantly in this state of dizziness. I actually know a woman a couple of years ago that died from vertigo because she had basically died of dehydration. She couldn't eat or drink. Now, I've had this condition for around 20 years. And one time I had it so bad that this is back about 8 or 9 years ago. I was working as an engineer and I had to take an entire month off work. Near the end of it, 3 weeks in, I felt like I'd gotten back my stability. And what I did is I got in my car, took it out of the driveway, went down the street, almost crashed into the ditch. I stopped the car, completely dizzy, drove all the way back in the house, managed to get in the garage, parked the car, and then when I got into the house, I just threw up everywhere. I was just dizzy. The reason I'm telling you this story is because it's something I suffered for a long time, and I tried to use the conscious mind to solve the problem. But luckily, I was persistent and I started to understand this idea of the subconscious mind. So I got a vertigo. The last time I've had it was in 2019. It was right after Christmas. And usually I would get it. I started to notice a pattern. It was based on what I was eating. So if I eat a lot of baked goods or things that have egg or gluten in them, and then evoke high stress by working out, going for a run, doing something that requires a large amount of physical activity, the stress would trigger the vagus nerve in my body to get inflamed, causing this dizziness and then basically putting me out of commission. I could barely sit up. So I woke up one morning after going for a run that week, and I woke up in the morning and I had full-blown vertigo, like 9 out of 10, the dizziest I've ever been. So I can't really walk, I can't do anything. If I'm walking around the house, I'm looking at the ground all the time. My wife doesn't know what to do, but she'd been following Medical Medium. And this is a plug for him because he talks about celery juice. And so she had said, if you drink the celery juice, then what will happen is it will get rid of that egg and gluten from your system, which is the food for the viruses that are in your body. If you take away the food from the viruses, it will kill them because they're starved. And once the viruses get starved, you will basically excrete them through your pee or your bowel movements. They go away. And then the vagus nerve can recover and the balance comes back. Now that was at the conscious mind. That was the information I was learning about this topic. So I said to my wife, I said, let's actually make me some celery juice the next morning. So I woke up the next morning, I took the celery juice, and I went from like a 9 out of 10 to 8 out of 10 dizziness. In fact, I was still pretty bad. Like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't leave the house. Couldn't do anything physical. And I even had trouble typing on my laptop. Later that day, I started to get frustrated because if you've ever been in a debilitated state where you can't move and your nervous system is basically in a state of shock where you can't do anything, you start to get really frustrated. And so I remember being in my office, getting really frustrated, upset, angry with myself. And I looked around and I saw these books and it reminded me, I saw Wayne Dyer's, one of his books. I saw other books. Power of the Subconscious Mind, Neville Goddard. And I realized, wait a minute, this is something I have the power to heal. And so I believed in that idea. So the next morning, I went to bed. I was still dizzy. I got up in the morning, but I had intention. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to meditate and get into the state of what it would feel like at this level to be fully healed. I basically went all the way down to my office, went on the floor, I lied down. I was there for 90 minutes. It took me 45 minutes to get in a state where I felt the vertigo had completely gone. And I'm going to talk about more of that in the last question. But basically, when I got to this state, I started to cry because it was gone. And I suffered for all these years, have always had it come and go. Didn't know when it's come. It was never expected. And it would just totally like stop everything I was doing in my life, totally debilitating. So I get to this state where I finally feel delighted that it's actually gone. But you got to remember, I'm in the subconscious. So it's just an imaginary state. But to me, it feels real. And I'm tearing up, crying. And then after that 90 minutes, I get back in the conscious mind, right? Because I'm not in my meditation anymore. And I get up and I'm fully dizzy. But I trust that what I've done is set the intention and now it's going to manifest in physical form. So I go to my wife and she had actually said, you know what, I'll give you some celery juice. I'll create it. She basically juiced this celery juice for me. And I got to say, she's an angel because I drank that celery juice very slowly. I could barely get it down. But after 2 hours, I went from an 8 out of 10 vertigo to like a 2 out of 10. By the end of the day, it was almost completely gone. And 2 days later, I went for a run and I haven't had it since. So what I'm saying is that intention is about taking information at the conscious mind and layering it and seeding it and planting it in the subconscious. That's why you want to set intentions to transcend physical reality. You might be learning things right now. You might be a counselor, might be a healer, it could be doing anything, but you're learning in a certain school or educational system, or maybe you're learning and watching this. And you're thinking, this is the things that are going to transform my life, which they can't. But what I'm saying is you want to take the conscious information and plant it past the analytical mind in the subconscious, and that's where real change takes place. And this is the key. You cannot experience or be the vibration of something that you are not. And let me give you an example. So when I healed myself from the vertigo in my subconscious, I was totally healed. I was at 5 hertz. In that moment, it was planted. It was done. And then there was a delay, and then it manifested in physical reality. What a lot of people are doing right now is they're working really hard to get what they want in their life at a 2 hertz frequency, expecting a 5 hertz result. And I want to open with a quote here from Bruce Lipton, Biology of Belief. It's an excellent book. Open quote. Anything you work hard at, anything you put a lot of effort into, anything you sweat over to make it happen, why are you working so hard? The answer is, your programs and subconscious don't support that, end quote. But what most of you are probably doing is you're doing what I did, is you're saying affirmations at the conscious level, and then they're not making a difference. You're at 2 hertz expecting a 5 hertz outcome. And if you watch the previous shows, what I mean by that is that you can only track the experience and the vibration that you are of, okay? You can't have an experience that's not in the same frequency as you are. It's physics.
I hope you found this useful and helpful. As you probably already know, my book came out last September, but I do have a free Audible series of every chapter. It's a sample, it's not the whole chapter, available on my YouTube channel. All you gotta do is look up 7-Day Manifestation Experiment, or you can go to my playlists and you'll see a playlist there called 7-Day Manifestation Experiment, free Audible series, and you can listen to them for free, okay? Thanks for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. If you think that or know someone that could benefit from watching this video, please share it with them. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.